The concept of routine can seem boring for most people. Doing the same things at around the same time each day sounds like something you would want to avoid more than be excited about, right? But what if I told you that my mundane routine is one of the aspects of my life that I love the most? Would you believe me? I love the natural flow of the feel-good actions that we take starting as soon as we wake up. I open my eyes most days excited about my morning and all of the little steps that forms my day, every day. Of course, a routine isn't a prison. I see it more as a repeated pattern that forms the woven fabric of our lives. It can be interrupted at times and it will always change and evolve. But overall, it's made with the intention of sticking with habits that makes us happier overall on a daily basis. Things like keeping the house clean, preparing food, or storing firewood can be seen as boring chores. But one part of your routine is to put on some feel-good music while doing the dishes or write in my journal with the sound of the fire each day before sunrise. I can't help but find something new in it every day. I can't remember where this quote came from, but I've heard that how you live your days is ultimately how you live your life. I think these words really stuck with me because I realized that as much as I hate to admit that I have a routine, I still had one. I think we all have. I'm sure there are things in your life that you repeat in a cycle, and maybe these actions add value to your life. For example, maybe you walk your dog every day or you say I love you every night to your kids and partner. But the reality for most people is that the routine is very much linked to our addictions and less desirable behavior, like scrolling mindlessly on your phone, watching TV, or drinking a soda every night. A well-crafted routine is a powerful tool to achieve your goals in life, and I encourage you to use these repeated sequences of actions to build something that really has meaning to you. Something we often hear, Remi and I, is how talented we both seem to be for building and creating so many things. And I understand why this compliment comes up, and it's because what you see from our work is mostly the results of a routine we engaged in many years ago. You don't see that almost every day. Remi is doing research on a new timber frame building technique or about the properties of different wood and whatnot. You don't see either that every single day, almost without fail, I grab my sketchbook and I practice my drawing. This is the power of repeated action. You just do it over and over again because it makes you feel good. The key here is to fill out your time with things that are good for you, so you end up having less and less time for the things that aren't. Of course, there's no need to be too rigid about it. Routines are great, but they need to adapt to your needs. This will change throughout the seasons and your circumstances. Some part of it will be repeated every day. Some will come once a week, some will be multiple times a day, and sometimes you'll go on a trip and you'll create a completely different routine. That's all okay. The only important thing is to be mindful of all the little habits that you have and repeat themselves to become a part of your life. You want to eat healthier? Then make a morning smoothie part of your routine, or chop vegetables in advance every night for the next day. If you want to read more, then bring a book in bed and read 15 minutes when you wake up and before you fall asleep. There is plenty of ways you can do what feels important to you, and I don't believe in not having time to do things. We choose to make room for what we prioritize, that's all. I know that for the longest time I've made up the excuse of not having enough time to have a clean house, especially working a lot and having big molting dogs. But the truth is that it was never enough of a concern at the time for me to free up 20 minutes each day to maintain my space clean. Now we do some cleaning, Remi and I, each morning, and it's actually something I enjoy now, which would have surprised my younger self quite a bit, to be honest. A good routine isn't only composed of things that requires you to make an effort, like preparing food or moving your body, but it needs to have many little things that brings you instant joy, like lighting candles or putting your favorite music on before starting to work. These small actions will help your brain make new associations between your tasks and rewards. And soon you'll notice that what you thought would be very difficult to maintain in your routine becomes quite easy because it will become linked to something you do enjoy. I also believe that in our endless aim to reach perfection, we tend to overwhelm ourselves at first. For example, it can be quite hard to commit to a full 2 hours workout every day, but a 5-minute walk seems way more achievable. I like to set the bar quite low by not forcing myself into a specific time frame or too big of a chore in the beginning. I prefer to start with smaller steps, and soon enough I see myself increasing naturally the amount that I do just because it makes me feel good and I like it. Also, it gives me the flexibility of successfully complete my routine even though I have days when I have less energy. It gives me just the right balance of freedom and structure. I much rather commit to at least 2 minutes of drawing practice than a full hour. But the reality for me is that when I start, it will often turn into a full hour practice anyway. The change in perspective makes me get the benefit without feeling forced into something.
Hey! No.
I feel like we built our life up to be active and healthy people by being playful in this routine. And it's no longer difficult now to move or eat nourishing foods or live in a well-maintained home. We do it not because we should do it or because we feel guilty not to do so, but because it leaves us feeling nourished and it adds value to our life. It's the small things we enjoy daily that makes us happy, not the big once-in-a-lifetime event. I'm happy when I write gratitude in my journal every day. I'm happy when I go out skiing in the woods with Remi and the dogs. I'm happy when I make art. I feel like the more I add to my routine, the happier and healthier I get. Most of my free time now is filled with beautiful practices and moments I cherish.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Tipeee? Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
I don't have time to scroll on my phone anymore. I don't have time to be sick from binge eating fast food and drink 5 cups of coffee a day. I don't have time to go mindless shopping either, and I don't have time to drink a bottle of wine and get a hangover the next day. I don't make any space in my life for these things that used to sadly be part of my daily routine. But magically, I do have time to read now. I do have time to craft, make art, be in nature, eat well, sleep well, work for myself, spend quality time with Remi and my daughter, even to travel and learn something new every day. I have all the time in the world because I feel like I spend it wisely. I'm sure you can also declutter your schedule too and make time for what really matters.
Voilà. C'est beau. Parfait.
I had this belief for the longest time that in order to get anything out of my existence, I needed to hustle and push and fight and pick myself up and fall and have a hard time. I know better now. I know that life isn't supposed to feel hard. Of course, not to say that everything is always easy, but it is totally okay to ease into things. It's okay to take your time and just improve little by little. It's okay to respect your own personal rhythm, and I recently discovered that doing less might actually take you further sometimes. This last year have been eye-opening for me. If you are a subscriber, you might know that I have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the early summer, and since then I've really committed myself to heal my body and soul and really take charge of my journey with this disease. It has led me to an unexpected discovery, and it is that working hard is a lie. Working smart is the real deal. Part of the different symptoms of multiple sclerosis is a very debilitating fatigue that comes with your nervous system trying to heal the lesions that forms when you are in a crisis. My body has given me signals the past year that I was putting it under too much pressure to perform in a way that it couldn't anymore. So I resolved myself to surrender to its need and to really listen and take care of it. I've been experimenting with working only around 4 hours a day for a couple weeks now. And to my pleasant surprise, I ended up crushing about the same amount of work that I used to when I was doing full 8 to 10 hours of work each day. The reason is quite simple actually. I spend way more time resting and also moving, which increase my focus and efficiency when I do sit down to work. Also, I make sure to not have any distractions when I want full focus on work, so I leave emails and paperwork outside of that time frame. This is life-changing for me. I don't ever see myself changing this new habit anytime soon, and I'm really grateful that I tried it out, even if it seemed too good to be true at first. Don't get me wrong, I still have very strong work ethics and I'm not becoming lazy at all. I just respect my ability to focus, which I realized I can't do for more than 4 hours anyway. After that, I lack clarity, which leads me to making mistakes that often cost me quite a bit of time. Remi also started doing the same, but his routine might vary more due to the nature of his work, which is also very okay. I realized that not everybody has the immense fortune to create their own schedule. But for people that does, it might be something to look into if you want to see if it might work for you. I love the freedom that it has given me, and I wish everybody could experience the feeling of spending the majority of your day doing what you really want to do instead of what you think you have to do. It's kind of like a never-ending weekend, and it's a pure delight. So I hope you liked this very long rant. Bear with me for speaking so long. I guess I just had lots to say today. Anyhow, thank you so much for being here, and I wish you all a wonderful day. See you all very soon.